everyone, Alexa Donne here, and today I want to talk about dream agents and why you shouldn't have them, but also why we all have them and that's totally okay. I've been doing a lot of content kind of on querying and agents recently, and I've brought up dream agents in multiple videos and why I think they're kind of a dangerous idea, but I wanted to make a whole video on why. But again, seriously, at the end of the day, I can't stop you from having dream agents. I had dream agents too, but I'm gonna give you a healthy dose of practicality so that you can broaden your horizons, keep an open mind, and hopefully have a slightly happier acquiring experience. So what is a dream agent? It is an agent we dream about being represented by. It's usually someone really famous, like they represent an author that we love, or they're on Twitter, or they have a Tumblr blog, or what have you, just someone who's very present. And it's the same thing that we do with people on the internet, on Twitter or on YouTube, where we kind of get best friend syndrome, where we feel like we know them and so we dream of being represented by that person, or we just dream of being represented by that person because we see what they've done for authors that we admire and we aspire and dream and hope for that kind of success. And honestly, it's totally natural and okay to have these feelings and these dreams. Even though I think dream agents are ultimately not a good idea, I've had dream agents. Everyone I know has dream agents. It's the most natural thing in the world to have ideas and hopes and aspirations. But the thing that I've observed over and over again is that so many writers seem to have the same dream agents, and ultimately having a dream is based on how much you can kind of hang onto, and thus the agents who are the biggest, who do the most publicity, who are the most comfortable on social media, or who just have winning, charming personalities tend to be on more people's dream agent lists. And thus it's almost like a popularity contest. It's easy to like someone and dream of them if they're in front of you in your face. So there's a lot of kind of siloing where everyone wants to be represented by this small number of agents, and it's just kind of the reality of numbers. There's just the reality of numbers in publishing in general, which is the more successful an agent is, the less time and interest and need they will have for signing new clients. They become more selective as they become more successful, and thus it becomes much harder to land those agents anyway. Your odds go down, etc., etc. And thus it just means that the odds of being disappointed by that dream agent, by not landing that dream agent, increase. And so I believe it becomes necessary to really expand your ideas about dream agents to kind of be more open-minded so that ultimately it feels like less of a gut punch if they reject you. Or even, I also want to talk about perception versus reality and kind of what we want versus what we actually need. Sometimes you might even get an offer from your dream agent, but you might also get an offer from a different agent and you actually click better with that agent. And it can be a case of, do you go with your gut or do you go with your dream? And something that I've definitely seen, I've seen it in myself. The person who used to be my dream agent, I actually know them really well now on a more kind of personal and professional level. They're not my agent, and I think we would have been an atrocious fit. But more importantly, they weren't interested in representing me, so it was meant to be that it didn't work out. And I'm so much happier where I am. But hindsight is 2020. But meaning dreams don't always align with reality. I had a friend who had a super big dream agent and then they didn't actually click. When it came to the offer stage in the phone, she wasn't vibing with that agent and felt in her gut that it would be the wrong choice to go with that agent. So she didn't, and it worked out fine. Great. Sometimes that's something that you have to do. So what I'm encouraging you to do is have dreams, but expand them. Try to have multiple dream agents. Really envision yourself with multiple different kinds of agents. Make sure that you have a pretty comfortable, slightly larger list, not too large if you've seen my previous video, but it's not about hyper-focusing on one or two agents, but really thinking about what you want, what might be a good fit for you, and feeling kind of comfortable and open to the idea of any of these 10, 15, or 20 agents could be my dream agent. Ultimately, I believe that your dream becomes the thing that is your reality, if that makes sense. I actually also feel this way about college. It's also a very dangerous idea to have a dream school because you can hyper-focus on a dream school and then what if they reject you? It's much better to try to be open and then find where you land and make that your dream. And really, a dream agent is the agent who wants to represent you, who loves your writing, and then helps your dreams come true. And that doesn't have to be the big, shiny, fancy agent that you've coveted for 3 or 4 years. You just don't know where you're gonna land. So I encourage you to just keep an open mind beyond kind of the dazzling stars of agenting, the ones who have the biggest sales, the ones who are really, really good on social media, the ones who do interviews or conferences all the time. So you just see them all the time. Be open to agents who aren't on social media as much, but they're out there doing really good jobs. You just might not know as much about them. Be open to the agents who don't have a really kind of detailed or gushy manuscript wish list. My agent's manuscript wish list was actually pretty vague. I wasn't 100% sure she was going to like my book, and she did, and she signed me, and she is, I adore her. She is my dream. Like, I'm not even kidding. I adore her, and I'm so glad I was open to an agent that I honestly just didn't know a ton about. I also just want to cap this off with a little kind of footnote to the agents who are the splashiest and the biggest, the most visible, and thus the easiest to have as a dream agent. There are very different agenting kind of sales and strategy styles. And most often, the biggest and splashiest agents where you hear about the biggest deals and they rep the biggest authors, not always, but the ones that you might hear the most about tend to be shark agents. Shark agents are incredibly commercial, they're incredibly aggressive. Aggressive isn't a bad thing, but because they're incredibly commercial and they're interested in selling books quickly for big money, their client list is going to be a very specific kind of client list. And so that kind of dangerous hole I've seen writers fall into, that I fell into, was really wanting to be repped by a shark agent, by a big splashy agent, because of course it was the dream of having that big experience without thinking the whole thing through. But wait, does the kind of book I write and the kind of career I want to have and I'm really likely to have, it's really not want, it's kind of likeliness, even fit their style? And sometimes the answer is no. Shark agents are simply not a fit for every writer, for every book, for every career. There are so many different kinds of agents and styles. That's just the big, splashy one that's easy to define. And so you also have to keep an open mind in terms of that. So really, that's all I wanted to say, just to kind of keep an open mind, really kind of be thoughtful about why an agent might be like super present, and just know that you can really like an agent and even eventually get along with them in real life, but that doesn't mean that they are the best fit for you professionally, because ultimately it is a business relationship and a lot goes into it. You never know who's going to fall in love with your project and end up being the best fit for you. Let me know down below in the comments any questions you have. I hope I have not crushed any dreams. And if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and I will make more kind of industry agenting type videos. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that. I post new videos 2 to 3 times a week. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and happy querying.